God bless you, family. Welcome to your devotional. We're talking about testimonies in the workplace. When somehow the workplace needs to adapt to put God first in your life. I have several testimonies, and today I want to share with you how God really moved with ministering to my bosses, having favor with my bosses, and even opening financial income, unexpected, so that I could fulfill something that the Lord wanted me to do. Let me give you an example. There was a couple of ministers there in a church. We'll never forget them. One of my favorite couples ever. And they were about to get married. And I really wanted to pay for their honeymoon. They were not making a lot of money. They were both full-time in ministry. And they were planning to have a wedding, but they could not have a honeymoon. And I wanted them to have a honeymoon. So I wanted to pay at least for most of their expenses. And I did not have the money either. And I'll share with you why I didn't have the money. This is a little extra testimony. Oh, I forgot about this one. Okay, so Bishop Dennis Leonard was preaching in Puerto Vallarta one time. And as he was preaching, I was translating. And my pastor had me translate that day. And Bishop Dennis Leonard announces, somebody here is going to sow your full paycheck into the church starting today. Just like that. And I translated it, and I said the same in Spanish. Somebody here today is going to sow the entire paycheck to the church starting today. And the moment I say the last word, today, the Lord tells me, that's you. So I did. For one entire year, my paycheck from the hotel would go straight into the church. And so now let's go back to my testimony of wanting to sow. I didn't have money to sow because my check was already going to the church. But I wanted to sow more. So I talked to the God that gives seed to the sower. I don't know who you talk to, but I talk to the God that gives seed to the sower. If you ever want money from God, remember He's the one that gives seed to the sower. He welcomes sowers for those conversations. And I told them, I said, Lord, this couple, they're going to have a honeymoon. They're not going to have a honeymoon, and I really want them to have one. So if you provide the seed for that, I will sow it. That was it. 4 seasons, God gave me favor to become a wedding minister. They had a need of somebody coming for a wedding, and they did not have an English-speaking minister to perform weddings. So I volunteered. I said, I could do that. They said, really? Yes, I could do that. How much would you charge? I said, oh, nothing. You don't charge anything? No, they can give me a seat if they want to. So they established that I would be their minister every time they had a wedding. And 4 seasons is a pretty high price place. The photographer, they always had the same photographer. He really liked me. And one day he decided, and I did not know this, but the photographer decided to talk to the other hotels and say, oh, did you know there's a wedding minister in 4 seasons? If you ever need a wedding minister, I know her, and and she should do the weddings. So he did all of the promoting for me. Bottom line, family, in 1 week, or maybe let's say between 7 and 10 days, I did 8 weddings. Each wedding, listen to this, because I never charged. The concierge department in the hotels are the ones that organize weddings. They asked each other how much do they pay me for doing a wedding. And 4 seasons responded to them that the charge was $250. Well, $250 in Mexico in that time, which we're talking more than 20 years ago, it's a lot of money. And the weddings, they were about 15 minutes long. Oh, I have to give a testimony how I became a wedding minister. I'll do that in the next video because it's pretty cool. And 8 weddings, $250 each. You do the math. In Mexico, that's a lot of money. So in 10 days, I had the money to pay for the entire honeymoon of the couple from the church. And I was able to pay for their hotel, I believe, car rental, meals, and airplane. Why? Because I have a God that gives seed to the sower. And all of that started in my job. God can give you different streams of income when you know how to obey instructions. I'll tell you about that instruction in the next video. Thank you for listening. And please don't forget, if you would like to sow a seed to Wisdom for Winning Church, you can sow through PayPal or Zelle. The email is pastoranna@wisdomforwinningchurch.tv or through Cash App, Wisdom #4 Winning. I love you.